David van Wyk is Benchmarks Foundation Chief Researcher and joins me now. David, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. I'm listening to that resident that last spoke there, and having heard the stories of others who talk about how the inferior quality of their houses, shoddy work, and really these people were supposed to make up for their losses, not really. And I remember that even in Marikana, similar stories were being said by people there.
Well, yes, I'm sitting near Marikana right now with the Marikana commemoration coming up in 2 days' time. And we've just done field work in Marikana as well. But 2 weeks ago, I received photographs from residents of Charlesville and Itumeleng in Jagersfontein, showing me cracks in houses, showing me poor plumbing, showing me poor workmanship in those houses, which is worrying, because the houses that they did have were quality houses, especially the houses in Charlesville. They were big, they were roomy, and they were strong houses that were built at the time. And also what people said at the time, 2 weeks ago, they said to me, the company is negotiating with them to give them 1,000 rands per room to replace what they lost. Now, people lost cars, people lost fridges, they lost stoves, they lost lounge furniture, TVs, clothes, cupboards, all kinds of things went missing. And I don't think that that 1,000 rand offer is acceptable. But I hear that today the company is open to negotiation around replacing the furniture and so on. I agree with the resident that you can't move into an empty house because your house was full of, property. It was full of your furniture and things like that that got washed away originally. We're talking about 106 houses being handed over today, but there were 164 houses that were destroyed. There is therefore a deficit of 58 houses that still needs to be dealt with in this particular instance. The other thing that we are worried about is that 2 days ago we heard that Jagersfontein is without water because the municipality is unable to pay the water bill. Now, we don't understand how it is that that municipality is bankrupt. It has no income, but it has a major diamond mine within its proximity, right next door to it. In fact, where's the rates and taxes that the mine should be paying to the municipality? Mantashe tells us it's not a mine, it's a dam, and therefore it's a water affairs matter. So if it's a water affairs matter, then they don't pay tax to the national government as all mines do, because mining is a national competency. They should be paying rates and taxes to the local government. And they should be paying rates and taxes back to 2009 when they took over that mine. So it's possible that if you put accountants and auditors in there, that the local municipality is owed quite a lot of money. There's a whole lot of infrastructure issues as well that are of concern. The bulk infrastructure. The provincial government said that they put 2 million rands in for bulk infrastructure, but the infrastructure, the sewage system, was completely destroyed by that disaster. And when I was there last time, there was sewage water running everywhere.
But one thing I've never understood, David, is that if, say, mining companies get these contractors to build or rebuild these homes, and they are paying them to do so, why aren't they insisting, on quality housing? Is it because they don't care, because they are doing this grudgingly anyway, or is it because they pay cheap? I mean, they are doing this on the cheap, and therefore get people who can build or rebuild these houses on the cheap. Have you ever been able to put a finger on that?
Well, yes, I think that you're correct. The houses are being rebuilt gradually. There hasn't been a commission of inquiry into this disaster to ascertain culpability. And besides that, I think that the subcontractors who built the houses were very suspect. You know, there were labor disputes in December when the building workers were all fired. There was another labor dispute in May when building workers were all fired. And so even the labor relations around the construction of these houses was very problematic, which probably partly accounts for the poor quality that community members are in fact complaining about. You know, so you know, we shouldn't do the reconstruction of these houses as a charitable advertising opportunity for the mine. It's their responsibility. It was that mine. And this is why culpability was so important, and why the first step would have been a commission of inquiry very quickly to determine culpability, and then on the basis of that to determine what money should be spent on the reconstruction process. You know, the Department of Water Affairs announced that they've got a court case against this mining company in November last year, and that's all gone quiet. We've not heard a word about that. You know, so are we going to wash our hands about this particular issue? And you know, are we going to wait for the next disaster to come before we actually take action to ensure that mine tailings in South Africa is properly secure and that communities are not impacted? We always find, in terms of spatial apartheid, that it's the poor in the communities that are on the wrong side of the mine tailings in terms of tailing dust, tailing danger, tailing seepage, impacting on water and land and so on. You know, and the poor in South Africa happen to be black. You know, and so we should not continue to perpetuate apartheid in terms of special arrangements. You know, and we see that these 106 houses were built exactly where the old houses were, except for one or two that were built in Jagersfontein itself. And so the issue of spatial apartheid has not been addressed. The people are still on the wrong side of the tailings. They're still on the wrong side of the dust. They're still on the wrong side of the seepage from the tailings that runs into the stream, the process river that passes through that area.
David van Wyk, let's leave it there for today. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.